Hello lovely viewers, you are most welcome to our channel Poetry Online. In this video, we shall be discussing some past questions on question and answer tags. Kindly subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get updates on all our new videos. Once again, let us assure you of a very interesting discussion. Get ready for this lesson. We do not know what the future holds for us. A. Do we? B. Don't they? C. Can we? D. Isn't it? The correct answer to this question is A. We do not know what the future holds for us, do we? I told you not to cross the road alone. A. Shall I? B. Didn't I? C. Have I? D. Wouldn't I? The correct answer to this question is B. I told you not to cross the road alone, didn't I? We were all amazed by his wonderful feat. A. Isn't it? B. Aren't we? C. Weren't we? D. Isn't he? The correct answer to this question is C. We were all amazed at his wonderful feat, weren't we? The meteorologist predicted heavy rains this year. A. Is it? B. Did it? C. Wasn't he? D. Didn't he? The correct answer to this question is D. The meteorologist predicted heavy rains this year, didn't he? You have never been to Accra. A. Have you? B. Haven't you? C. Won't you? D. Do you? The correct answer to this question is A. You have never been to Accra, have you? Abortion is illegal in Ghana. A. Wasn't it? B. Doesn't it? C. Isn't it? D. Was it? The correct answer to this question is C. Abortion is illegal in Ghana, isn't it? Lately, the rain patterns have changed drastically. A. Hadn't it? B. Isn't it? C. Doesn't it? D. Hasn't it? The correct answer to this question is D. Lately, the rain patterns has changed drastically, hasn't it? Kofi isn't working. A. Isn't he? B. Is he? C. He does. D. Does he? The correct answer to this question is B. Kofi isn't working, is he? You eat dinner at 6 every day. A. Do you? B. Will you? C. Won't you? D. Isn't it? The correct answer to this question is A. You eat dinner at 6 every day, don't you? You failed to do your assignment. A. Didn't you? B. Don't you? C. Haven't you? D. Do you? The correct answer to this question is A. You failed to do your assignment, didn't you? Can you leave the block? A. No, I can't. B. Yes, I can't. C. Yes, I can. D. No, I will. The correct answer to this question is C. Can you leave the block? Yes, I can. Kweku goes to the stadium every Sunday. A. Isn't it? B. Doesn't he? C. Can't he? D. Isn't he? The correct answer to this question is B. Kweku goes to the stadium every Sunday, doesn't he? You couldn't have done this alone. A. Can you? B. Could you? C. Will you? D. Would you? The correct answer to this question is B. You couldn't have done this alone, could you? Do you know the name of the master? A. Yes, I don't. B. No, I do. C. Yes, I did. D. No, I don't. The correct answer to this question is D. Do you know the name of the master? No, I don't. The woman should complain of the pain. A. Shall she? B. Should she? C. Shouldn't she? D. Won't she? The correct answer to this question is C. The woman should complain of the pain, shouldn't she? He was certainly going to swim. A. Wasn't he? B. Didn't he? C. Isn't he? D. Isn't he? The correct answer to this question is A. He was certainly going to swim, wasn't he? He had thought that his wife would be angry. A. Did he? B. Hadn't he? C. Wouldn't he? D. Didn't he? The correct answer to this question is B. He had thought that his wife would be angry. Hadn't he? No one phoned the house. Did Dash? A. Did he? B. Did anybody? C. Did they? D. Did somebody? The correct answer to this question is C. Nobody phoned the house. Did they? You would be happy if I come. A. Won't you? B. Will you? C. Wouldn't you? D. Isn't it? The correct answer to this question is C. You would be happy if I come. Wouldn't you? You didn't return home early. A. Did you? B. Is it? C. Didn't you? D. Is it? The correct answer to this question is A. You didn't return home early, did you? Let's go to the National Theatre. A. Aren't we? B. Won't we? C. Will we? D. Shall we? The correct answer to this question is D. Let's go to the National Theatre, shall we? I don't suppose you want to go. A. Will you? B. Is it? C. Do you? D. Have you? The correct answer to this question is C. I don't suppose you want to go, do you? Her father was annoyed that he went out with that boy. A. Wasn't he? B. Didn't she? C. Didn't he? D. Wasn't he? The correct answer to this question is A. The father was annoyed that he went out with that boy, wasn't he? There's no place like home. A. Is it? B. Not so. C. Is there? D. It is. The correct answer to this question is C. There's no place like home, is there? You would have stolen my book. A. Didn't you? B. Wouldn't you? C. Won't you? D. Don't you? The correct answer to this question is B. You would have stolen my book, wouldn't you? You could have gone home. A. Haven't you? B. Couldn't you? C. Didn't you? D. Wasn't it? The correct answer to this question is B. You could have gone home, couldn't you? Mrs. Christ, would have sworn that her daughter was not involved in the theft. A. Hasn't she? B. Didn't she? C. Wouldn't she? D. Wasn't she? The correct answer to this question is C. Mrs. Quiz would have sworn that her daughter was not involved in the theft, wouldn't she? She did not murder her husband. A. Is it? B. Isn't it? C. Did she? D. She did. The correct answer to this question is C. She did not murder her husband, did she? You have to answer the question. A. Hadn't you? B. Didn't you? C. Must you? D. Isn't it? The correct answer to this question is B. You had to answer the question. Didn't you? Certainly, you knew you were wrong. Dash you? A. Weren't you? B. Aren't you? C. Didn't you? D. Don't you? The correct answer to this question is A. Certainly, you knew you were wrong, weren't you? There is hardly any place like home. A. Is it? B. Is there? C. Isn't it? D. Isn't there? The correct answer to this question is B. There's hardly any place like home. Is there? Thomas agreed it was his fault. A. Didn't he? B. Wasn't it? C. Isn't it? D. Was it? The correct answer to this question is A. Thomas agreed it was his fault. Didn't he? Jacob said that the girl will recognize the car. A. Didn't he? B. Wouldn't he? C. Wasn't it? D. Will she? The correct answer to this question is A. Jacob said that the girl will recognize the car. Didn't he? I told you I wasn't at school yesterday. Dash I? A. Was I? B. Didn't I? C. Wasn't I? D. Did I? The correct answer to this question is B. I told you I wasn't in school yesterday, didn't I? Let's sit and discuss the matter. A. Shan't we? B. May we? C. Can we? D. Shall we? The correct answer to this question is D. Let's sit and discuss the matter. Shall we? Can you spare me a minute of your time? A. Yes, I can't. B. No, I can. C. Well, I'll try. D. I'm afraid I can't. The correct answer to this question is D. Can you spare me a minute of your time? I'm afraid I can't. You've never visited Kumasi. A. Haven't you? B. Have you? C. Isn't it? D. Is it? The correct answer to this question is B. You've never visited Kumasi. Have you? Certainly, he will deny that he broke the glass. A. Is it? B. Isn't it? C. Isn't he? D. Won't he? The correct answer to this question is D. Certainly, he will deny that he broke the glass, won't he? The boy knows what he should say. A. Shouldn't he? B. Isn't it? C. Won't it? D. Doesn't he? The correct answer to this question is D. The boy knows what he should say, doesn't he? They didn't see you at the market this morning. A. Did they? B. Isn't it? C. Would they? D. Did you? The correct answer to this question is A. They didn't see you at the market this morning, did they? It has been rough so far. A. Hasn't it? B. Hadn't it? C. Isn't it? D. Haven't it? The correct answer to this question is A. It has been rough so far, hasn't it? The assignment given by the teacher is very difficult. A. Wasn't it? B. Isn't it? C. Aren't they? D. Hasn't it? The correct answer to this question is B. The assignment given by the teacher is very difficult, isn't it? My sister promised that she will visit us next week. A. Didn't she? B. Hasn't she? C. Would she? D. Wouldn't she? The correct answer to this question is A. My sister promised that she will visit us next week, didn't she? The hunter has shot the wild buffalo. A. Didn't he? B. Hasn't he? C. Has he? D. Hasn't he? The correct answer to this question is B. The hunter has shot the wild buffalo. Hasn't he? You can drive a car, can't you? A. Yes, I can. B. No, I can. C. Yes, I can't. D. No, I do. The correct answer to this question is A. You can drive a car, can't you? Yes, I can. Will you be there for long? No, I dash. A. No, I will. B. No, I won't. C. No, I would. D. No, I wouldn't. The correct answer to this question is B. Will you be there for long? No, I won't. Quincy fears dark places. A. Hasn't he? B. Doesn't he? C. Isn't it? D. Isn't he? The correct answer to this question is B. Quincy fears dark places, doesn't he? You dare not complain. A. Will you? B. Isn't it? C. Dare you? D. You dare? The correct answer to this question is A. You dare not complain, will you? Let's go to the stadium. A. Shall we? B. Shan't we? C. Will we? D. Can we? The correct answer to this question is A. Let's go to the stadium, shall we? The author has written many books. A. Hadn't he? B. Hasn't he? C. Didn't he? D. Isn't he? The correct answer to this question is B. The author has written many books, hasn't he? People shouldn't drop litter on the pavement. A. Don't they? B. Should they? C. Can they? D. Shouldn't they? The correct answer to this question is B. People shouldn't drop litter on the pavement, should they? They will volunteer. A. Won't they? B. Don't they? C. Can they? D. Do they? The correct answer to this question is A. They will volunteer, won't they? You found your cell phone. A. Is it? B. Don't you? C. Isn't it? D. Didn't you? The correct answer to this question is D. You found your cell phone, didn't you? He was certainly going to swim. A. Isn't he? B. Isn't it? C. Wasn't it? D. Wasn't he? The correct answer to this question is D. He was certainly going to swim, wasn't he? He had thought his wife would be angry. A. Did he? B. Wouldn't he? C. Hadn't he? D. Didn't he? The correct answer to this question is D. He had thought his wife would be angry, didn't he? The boys stole the mangoes. A. Do they? B. Didn't they? C. Were they? The correct answer to this question is B. The boys stole the mangoes, didn't they? There's no point in acquiring a tool unless one means to use it. A. Wasn't there? B. Is there? C. Isn't there? D. Doesn't there? The correct answer to this question is B. There's no point in acquiring a tool unless one means to use it. Is there? You promised to pass your examination. A. Isn't it? B. Do you? C. Didn't you? D. Wasn't it? The correct answer to this question is C. You promised to pass your examination, didn't you? Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share this video.